So on that note, this is more than open mic. We share poetry, we share knowledge, we share information. And I don't do poetry, I like it called knowledgery. And I brought together some facts. Because for myself, I'm very conscious about what I consume and what I eat, because I recognize how it affects your body, your mind, and your soul, your thought process, and your overall well-being. And I was reading an article about 2 weeks ago, and I always save it to the side. I figured it'd be something good to share with my people, and it's called 6 Things That Happen When You Stop Eating Meat, okay? 6 things. I'm not trying to take anybody's feeling and make it do any disrespect, but knowledge is power. And when you know better, you do better. And we're here trying to use this platform to educate people, to heal souls, and awaken our people. So, number 1, it reduces inflammation in your body. And as you know, inflammation is the cause for a lot of illnesses and diseases. Long-term effects of continuous inflammation can lead to heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune disease, and even cancer. Plant-based diets are anti-inflammatories. Okay, so think about that. I'm not saying don't eat meat at all, but be mindful of the amount of meat that you consume and realizing how that affects your physical body. Number 2, your blood cholesterol levels will plummet. Red meat, poultry, and cheese contain saturated fat. High cholesterol increases your risk of heart disease and stroke. And when you're thinking about the top killers in America today, what's that? Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and stroke. And what is the number 1 food we consume in America? Here we go. So, and again, plant-based diets are shown to significantly lower your cholesterol levels, okay? So, not saying to stop eating meat, but be mindful of how much meat that you eat. Number 3, chances of developing type 2 diabetes will be reduced. Think of our black community today and how many people that little kids, now have type 2 diabetes, and recognizing what is a diet they're consuming to help them alleviate these pains, okay? Vegetarian diets can manage diabetes, and studies show the higher intake of animal proteins provides a higher risk of developing diabetes. So there's things to be mindful of for my young folks out here and all my souls. Number 4, you might lose a couple of pounds. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever noticed though, it takes a lot more effort from your body to digest meat. And a lot of us who are heavy meat eaters, they say you have about 5 to 10 pounds inside your intestinal lining that are just sitting there putrefying within your system. So once you start getting the plant-based diet, getting the levels high as a fiber, it might help you pass a little bit more clear. You won't be backed up, so I'm not trying to get inappropriate in that kind of way, but it's realizing beach season's coming up, so it might be a little motivation. Maybe having like 1 piece of meat a week and going to some plant-based, but seeing how this might benefit you as well. Number 5, avoid the toxic food contaminants. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know, like when you buy that red steak at the market, when it originally is made, it's not red. They put chemicals on it to make it appear as if it's nice and juicy and tasty. So from the hormones, the pesticides, the antibiotics, and the GMO feeds, the genetically modified organism feeds being given to these animals to make them nice and beefy, all of those things are being consumed by you as well. Because if a sick cow is being pumped up with antibiotics, what do you think that is going to do to your own personal body? And that is going into your own genetics. So doing more than just damage to your physical body, this also messes around with your genetics and your DNA. And there are studies that show that consuming large amounts of meat messes with your infertility and able to produce children at the same time too. So things that we must be mindful of. And lastly, this is one that most people don't talk about at all, is making a difference to the health of our planet. 30% of the world's land mass is used to raise animals as food. Okay, so think about our globe. That's number 1. 70% of the grain grown is used to feed animals, not humans, animals. How many people do we have starving in the world today? You know what I'm saying? And how much focus do we put on feeding these animals to produce this meat consumption industry that does support the pharmaceutical industry and the healthcare industry that keeps this unending cycle of sickness, medication, money going round and around and around. Number 3, 80% of the land deforested in the Amazon is now used as a cattle pasture. They are destroying Mother Earth just to produce meat. And as the population grows and increases, they might be destroying your backyard. You might see cows being grazed down here if we keep consuming this meat at this rate. And lastly, you got to think about comparing plant protein to animal protein. It takes 12 times as much land to make animal protein than plant protein. It takes 13 times more fossil fuels. So we think about global warming and the environment and the toxins and the methane gas that comes from these cows, from them constantly just Yes, that's a nice way of putting it. And it uses 15 times more water. They're having a crisis in California with water, and they're not telling you nothing about the meat and dairy industry that is consuming massive amount of water each and every single day. And I want to recommend to you, if you have Netflix or know anybody that has Netflix, watch the documentary Cowspiracy. It will inform you with a lot of great gems and information to show you how this is impacted. Because they even say, oh yeah, let's eat organic and farm-fed. But actually, when you do eat organic meat, it takes up more land. It takes up more of to actually make it a reality, because they're actually grazing. Not saying it's a bad thing, but seeing how, as a society, as a whole world population, we have to be aware of how our actions are affecting the whole entire world. Yes. And if seeing how that our consumption of meat is destroying our physical bodies and it's destroying the planet, seeing the connection. And when you start realizing, when you know better, I always say you gotta do better. And I always share this with you because I want to inform my people, man. Too many of us are becoming sick and ill by things that are of our own doing that we're not aware of. They're not gonna tell you about this, but here at this platform, if I have a voice, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I feel it is my duty to share with people the truth that's gonna make them a better person. So just be mindful. I'm not saying don't eat meat, it's a journey, but it's being aware how you could better yourself and the world around you, because we're all connected at a deeper level, whether you realize it or not. And this is just the foundation of your being, is your body. Okay, so I thank y'all for listening to me. Hope I ain't annoying nobody with my words, but I had to do it for the folks, all right?